huge dresser. Guess how much I paid for this dresser? $15. I love it. I love a deal. Your girl loves a bargain.
Yes, you heard me right. I only spent $15 for this little cutie at my local Goodwill. Sure, there's some missing veneer, but we can handle that, don't worry. To begin with, always clean and inspect your piece. Remove all of the hardware, vacuum inside the drawers, and get ready to choose your color. There is one drawer glide that needs to be re-glued and secured to the bottom drawer, but other than that, this piece is not in bad condition. Remove any of the loose or flaking veneer that might be on the edges around the broken bits. Once that's done, you can add your mud to patch and then sand it back to completely flat. Use your clamps to hold the glued edges into place and make sure that they grab really well. Then when you sand it back, if you're missing any spots where the veneer is still low, you can refill in that mud and sand it flat again. I use my Surf Prep sander, which I've linked in the description so that you can see where I get it from, because this piece really does well. I work inside my home, in my studio, and I even sanded down the top of this piece with no dust. I ended up using walnut for this project. Walnut gel stain goes on existing finishes or also onto naked wood. So I applied this with a applicator pad in the direction of the wood grain. Don't forget to wear your gloves because this stuff will get in underneath your nails and it is super hard to get out since it's oil based. It's up to you how many coats you'd like to apply. For this project, I did one even coat on the top and around the edges. This can be sealed with either Gator Hide or satin clear coat.
So, if you were watching my stories a few weeks ago, I was shopping at a Goodwill, which I do a little bit way too often. I'm an avid thrifter and an avid DIYer. I'm always at the yard sales, estate sales, barn sales. It's how I chill, people. It's how I relax to walk around aimlessly and look at other people's junk. So, feeding my habit as I do, I went to a Goodwill on a weekend, which I hardly ever do on a weekend. But I went on my own and I had a day where I absolutely positively scored. I ended up getting like bags and bags and bags of full Ann Taylor and Ann Taylor Loft clothing with tags on. Somebody had dropped off dead stock, so I completely got a brand new outfit. I should say brand new wardrobe, technically. I probably bought at least like 7 pieces, and I thought I would peruse their furniture section. Now, lately at the Goodwill, I have not had very much luck at all. It's been crickets over there. They haven't had a lot of furniture, and the furniture that they have had has been very, very, very expensive. This is a big, beautiful dresser. Huge, massive. Look how big that is. Huge dresser. Guess how much I paid for this dresser? $15. I love it. I love a deal. Your girl loves a bargain. So I purchased this for $15. Now, I do have all the original hardware. It is sitting over here on the floor. It is, I believe this is called Hemp Oil. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's like a brass, burnished brass. And I probably will leave it this kind of tarnished color. I am a fan of like the tarnished versus like super bright. And the plan for this piece is actually to go Midnight Sky, which is almost black. Because of the size of it, I don't want to be too wild and colorful. I would love to put it in my booth space at the Lazy Daisy and get it gone. So I most likely will leave this color, just clean them up a little bit, because I don't want to change it. I don't want to lose it. If they're too shiny, it's going to compete with the piece. And this is a gorgeous piece. Now, it's not without its massive damages. Everywhere where you can see white, there was huge hunks. I'm talking like big sections of broken, missing veneer. This is not hard to fix, and I'm going to show you how, because as I sit on the floor, I see a tiny little spot that I missed, so I'm going to have to fix that today. You can fix broken veneer and seal it up, and it's going to look just like it was never there. That's super easy to do, and the product you're going to need for that is called Dixie Belle's Mud, okay? Now, mud is like it almost looks like drywall plaster to me. I don't know if you've ever seen that before. The stuff you use to patch your drywall. It goes on wet, it gets dry, you sand it back, it gets very powdery. You can see it's all over my floor, it's all over me. But it leaves you with a nice smooth surface. So let's work on the top drawer first of all, and then we're going to talk about paint and what paint we're going to be using today. Okay, so this is mud in white. This comes in black, this also comes in brown. Since I'm painting this surface, I don't really care what color it is because I'm just using it to fill in the hole. So you can see the outline of the jagged, broken edges. I've already filled this and sanded it back. But as I sat on the floor, eye level with this piece, I could see a section, like a tiny little spot right here that I missed. It's like a little hole. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this with my finger, and I'm going to have to sand it back when it's dry, but filling in that hole is very easy. It's as easy as that. So letting it sit on there a little bit thicker, what's going to happen is it's going to get dry, and then I can sand it back to flat, and you won't even know that that was there. This is also what I used if I had hardware that needed to be replaced, like say I'm taking this from the original to just a one pull. I would use the same product to fill in my holes. So I'm going to leave this drawer because this is going to have to get dry. So let's take it out and move it over so that we can let it get dry for tomorrow, because it's going to take a little while to get dry. Okay. Oh goodness, I almost dropped it. So what's the plan for this piece? Well, we are going to be painting this piece, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what kind of paint I'm using, the color I'm using, and why I'm using it, along with all 3 lines of Dixie Belle paint products that you can learn along with me, because I find that all of these videos here on Facebook I do eventually edit and put over to my YouTube, and YouTube people really like full-length tutorials that explain a lot, right? They like to know exactly every single baby step without everything being sped up. Because a lot of times here on Facebook, the videos that you see me post, not these lives obviously, they go out into the universe and they're 3 minutes or they're 1 minute, and that's really fast for a beginner to grasp. So these are great videos for you to reference. And just so you know, if you do go to my YouTube at the top drawer RVA, I have a Back to Basics series that will teach you about individual products and how to use them versus like 30 things. So we're going to keep it simple, we're going to keep it basic, and I'm going to teach you exactly what I do as a painter. All right? Let's jump in. So, Dixie Belle makes 3 different types of paint. We have the original OG paint, which is what we're going to be using today. This is Dixie Belle's Chalk Mineral Paint. Dixie Belle's Chalk Mineral Paint has 0 VOCs, safe to use indoors, around your pets, around your children, has no smell. It's water-based, okay? This is the original Dixie Belle paint that came out first. There are so many colors that this page is actually outdated. I believe there's over 70 colors right now that you can purchase from a local retailer, because Dixie Belle has retailers all around the world, as well as online, which I've linked above. Let's see. Hi, Allie. How are you? I have somebody posting on my page. Surprise. There's always somebody posting on my page. But you know, we'll just let them go, because after this video is actually saved to my page, those comments will disappear and I can delete them. Or you can flag it and report it and they should disappear as well. Anyways, so this is Dixie Belle's Chalk Mineral Paint. Chalk Mineral Paint comes in so many colors. You can use any color you like. Today's color and today's color project is going to be Midnight Sky. This is Midnight Sky. Midnight Sky is nice and deep and dark. Okay, it's almost black. I like it because it's a deep, dark graphite color. It's going to hide the damages because there is damages on this piece, and I'm going to be painting right over top of them. And to apply my chalk mineral paint, I like to use a smooth synthetic brush. So this is a mini, it's nice and small. I'm going to be using this to paint today, and we will do a little bit of painting. But before that, I want to tell you about Dixie Belle's other lines of paint. We have Silk All in One Mineral Paint. Silk All in One Mineral Paint is a little bit different than regular chalk mineral paint. This has a built-in top coat and a built-in primer. All right, it's a little bit different than regular chalk mineral paint because there's really no other prep involved. Once you're done painting, you can walk away. The paint that I'm using on here, I will seal it, and I will be sealing it with hemp oil. But Silk All in Mineral Paint is a great paint for a basic one color finish. All right, and this paint actually just released 7 brand new colors this week, and this one right here is called Highlands. Isn't it pretty? Really nice and green. And then last but not least, we also have Terra Clay paint. You've seen me use Terra Clay paint when I want to get a texture finish, when I like a heavy distress, when I want to use a lot of layering, when I want to build like maybe a heavy grungy piece. This is the paint that I usually reach for. So that's 3 lines of paint, 3 different looks. The look we're going for today is going to be basic. We're going to do black, Midnight Sky, and we're going to do 1 even coat on a couple drawers, and then I'm going to show you what the second coat looks like on a drawer that I've already painted. All right? All right, let's jump in. So for chalk mineral paint, I do like to use a damp synthetic brush. This brush is dry right now. You can dampen it, and your surface should be clean, just so you know. If you're coming in to paint something, you always want to start with a nice clean surface. The surface right here has been clean, but I can show you again what that looks like if that will help you along on your journey. Dixie Belle does make cleaners that arrive in jars like this already. So this is ready to use. It's already pre-mixed. This is Terra Clean. Terra Clean, White Lightning, and Pristine Cleaner, all the exact same product, just packaged for each individual paint line. So if you order any one, they're all going to work the same. And to clean, all you need to do is spray. And then obviously you're going to rub off anything that might be on there. And then you're going to rinse with water. Inside this spray misting bottle, there's water. And then I'm going to grab another rag and just wipe that back. Obviously this is being done and I don't want to wet my mud. You can seal your mud with Boss as well if that helps you, but there's no need for me to clean this again because I already cleaned it. I'm just giving you a quick little demo. Okay, so let me scooch over here to this side and we will show you how to apply chalk mineral paint, which is very easy. This is going to be a short video today, but it's going to be helpful for anybody that's new and beginning that might have questions. All right, so chalk mineral paint comes in a couple different sizes: 4 ounce, 8 ounce, 16, and 32. You can also get gallons of chalk mineral paint, but not every color is available in the really big gallon sizes. So you're going to want to shake it or stir it really well because this paint can get a little thick inside the jar if you let it sit for a while. This can does happen to be new. I just opened it this week. So this is a beautiful, rich black / graphite. It's not a true black. I want to call it more of like a really dark charcoal, if that makes sense. So my brush is being dampened. The reason I like to dampen my brush is just thin the paint a little bit. And what we're going to do is actually paint this entire drawer. Now, it's up to you if you want to paint the top part of the drawers. I did fill in some damages and use some glue, so there is some marks up here. I don't tend to paint this part of my drawer because I find that if it gets too much paint on there, it's not going to close and open very easily. They tend to get stuck. This drawer is actually fairly easy glide, but I most likely will use gilding wax on the edge of this, and that will just finish the look and actually make it look quite classy as well. So I will paint the sides over here on the edges as well as the front of this drawer. All right, so we're going to start in with our Midnight Sky. And that's as simple as painting it on. You might want to be a little bit more heavy-handed across your repairs that you've done. If you feel like you know, you need to build up your paint coverage a little bit, but I'm also going to show you how easy it is to sand in between coats of paint. So I'm just going to lay down my paint, and this will take a nice 2 even coats of paint. And the sealant that I'm going to be using for today's project will be hemp oil, but obviously I can't show you that today until my project is 100% dry. The reason why I like hemp oil is because it gives you a really nice kind of shine that's not too fussy to work with, if that makes sense. Because sometimes dark paint colors can be a little bit hard to cover with a clear coat. They get a little bit fussy. So it's as simple as that. Painting on 2 even coats. This dresser, if I didn't have so many repairs to make and keep coming back in to fix like small little things, I could have been done this 2 days ago, but I keep seeing like tiny little things that I need to fix, which is holding up my process. All right. So there you go. It's as simple as that. Once you're finished letting your first coat dry, I'm going to bring the second drawer over here. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Once the first coat is dry, it's going to look something like this. And we're going to aim the camera down so that you can see exactly what I'm working on. This drawer was painted a couple days ago and it's dry. Now, my hands really aren't dirty, right? But this is a dark color. So if you start to touch and manipulate your chalk mineral paint, you're going to see marks, especially on a dark surface. That's why I do like to seal this with hemp oil. It just gives it a more uniform, kind of strong top coat. But your first coat is going to go down and look exactly like this. It looks pretty smooth, but I can tell that it needs to have a second coat. I'm going to show you something that a lot of people don't do between coats of paint. Chalk mineral paint sometimes can show a little bit of grit and show a little bit of marks, which is why I like to use a damp brush. We're going to jump in here with our sanding sponge, which is very gentle. This is a 220 grit, okay? And I'm not going to go hardcore. I'm just going to gently run my sanding over top of it. What it's going to do is just kind of smooth it out a tiny bit. Okay, if there's any little hairs on there, if there's any little marks, it's just going to give you a nice smooth surface to continue painting on. So to continue painting on this, you're going to do the same process. You're going to use your damp synthetic brush, and you're just going to gently go over top. You're going to find that on your second coat of paint, you're going to use less amounts of paint. I always tend to use less amounts of paint on the second coat. I like it to be a little bit thinner. It's just easier to really thin out. Now, you need to be aware too that there's nothing stopping you from coming back in and sanding your second coat and then sealing, but you could run into a problem with tiny little white specks that you might see if you used a primer, or tiny little white specks that just seem to appear sometimes out of nowhere. So I will not sand after my last coat, but I definitely would sand in between coats. And to be honest, I haven't even decided yet. I might do like a gloss stencil over top of this matte paint just to see if I can, you know, zhuzh it up, make it a little bit fancier. But that's how simple it is to apply chalk mineral paint on a wood dresser. All you need to do is make sure you've done your proper cleaning, your proper repairs, and you're able to really achieve any look. It's not hard. I might have to, because I had so much wood filler on this piece, adapt and go back in, sand lightly and fill again, just depending on how fussy I want to be, if I see those marks or not. You also are not locked into like smooth painting. If you wanted to use a brush that was a natural fiber brush, don't know what that is, natural fiber brush, and you wanted to like dab your paint on to create a texture, you could do that as well. And that's going to help hide any imperfections. But this piece is so curvy and so slick, I feel like I want to make it a little bit more fancy. So I am thinking possibly to add a gloss stencil, and that would look like me putting a stencil down, rolling my gloss clear coat on, and going over top of what's on this piece. I'm just not locked in yet. I haven't really decided. And to be honest, this is the first week back at school for my kiddo. I'm kind of like relishing in the do not do anything phase of my week. I don't want to. I don't want to work too much. So we will see how that goes. But as always, I am always on my little phone. I'm always happy to help you on your painting journey. If you have questions about Dixie Belle, questions about the lines of paint, questions about, what I would do to a piece you might have, reach out to me. Feel free to send me a message. I'm always happy to help, and I'm always around to help. And also, FYI, if you are a painter or a small business owner, or you're somebody that's doing something online and you're looking for building your brand online, I am also a social media coach. So that allows me to help you on your brand building journey. If you're looking for somebody to help you maybe get monetized on a social media platform, or to maybe look into setting up a website or finding brand collaborations, I have all of those details, and I've been doing this job for many, many years. So I'm happy to be a creative coach just for you. Send me a message about that, or check out my website at www.thetopdrawerrva.com, where you can find all of the information about all of the things that I talked about today, including my portfolio of all past works and links to all of my social media channels. I hope that helps you on your painting journey. Stay tuned. I should have this piece done by the end of the week if I can snap out of my lazy phase. I did stain the top in no paint gel stain, actually in a beautiful rich walnut color. I can lift up the phone and show you how that looks on the top. I have not sealed it yet, but it is a gorgeous rich brown, and I'll be using Gator Hide to seal my work on the top of this piece. But most likely for the base of this piece, I'll be using hemp oil to seal, unless I get crazy and wild with the stencil. We will see. So stay tuned. I hope that you had fun hanging out with me today. And I know it was a short video, but to be honest, I don't have a lot of work to do right now. This is it. So take care, everybody. I will see you next Wednesday at around 3 p.m. and I will check in with you later. Make sure to go to my YouTube as well to see the most recent video of all of the brand new silk colors, because they are super, super gorgeous. Take care. Bye-bye.